Malo la Maria hoʻi ki pe pe foki ke Tonga mo i bulan katoa o kua wat ke ai e whakahoha ko ia radio TWN pe ko Tonga World News i he hoata flight e koe ni o ku oatana tai lelea ki mo tolu he ahoni a whap o whai ni mi Seattle, Washington pe ko ia mau whawhitai o toka mari e pe mea katoa i he anga o e nofo ko e a flight e whokeni pea koe aho tahataha i no whekueri, wa whi māua, pea koe ai koe tapor karama he aho ni, whahoko atu e Emeline ka te mau hoko atu.
Malala mali hawaii ki pe malo lele e tonga kata mo mea mea ke tau pua kalamakani i he hoa tā whalaite a ho tātaha o February wana owa whamalo at ko mo mea mai ka koe pongpongini whaki koe taha whaki parpare mau hoko i tonga koe COVID-i bea lahi whaki whahinga tohi mai all you know what I'm seeing every day if Facebook ka tohi mai lahi e keisi tonga and last night I decided to send something on Facebook and then I wanted to share that what I share because you know ko me tana whanonga he pare mia na ne mea ki ai ke o te tau whakasi i he palapare mā tau whakasi i he solution beko ane po this is what I shared last night. I tohi ka ua ti mote vai ulaki vese fitu. Whamanatu ki Tonga, ke o don't count COVID cases, but count your blessing. But don't forget, God Jehovah Jireh, Nanahago save Tonga from the volcanic eruption and the tsunami, is going to be the same God that will save Tonga from COVID. Eh? Hega toiga na wati mote vahe ulaki vesepitu na ni whamanatumai, for God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power, of love, and of a sound mind. Eh? Koe
Wow.
manatu ya koe ni na fa manatu koe ani po koe ngā he koe whenga peke whaloto lahi uh, ke o wata whaloto lahi ki he kāinga ki Tonga aia ko I just want to share that on the screen. So if we focus on counting cases, the number is going to keep going up and going up. But I think to me, we need to focus on counting blessings. When we count the blessings, the number going to be minimized. But one of the things that I love is Brenda, ko mo tolo ko na lela ke tahini ko vana ko ni o of South Dakota. I tried to share that with Tonga this morning, and I was studying. I speech is going to tahine koini. She nanham of lele ak in a state I common sense. Number one, ka freedom. Pameka na ne fai na ne hanga o ne pehe na ne council pe me ka lawyer ki constitutional right ki o na ne hanga wala ki tawa taina e kakai. What she is supposed to doing and she not supposed to do, eh? Kaya me ko mali iya he ne fai me tolu na ne pehe ko fai me tolu na ko outcome ko ne tolu ko ni na ha ko me ne uh, I think me ene taki ko economy ko na funwa was so high on a state. Not only that, people are relocating to South Dakota, but at the same time, people respect the freedom. Kaka
Mm.
yeah, our founding fathers koni I moto koni na ilo ake fonua koni. I want to bring that in. Kada founding father go. Let me hold on, Brenda. Sorry.
Yeah, no problem.
One of the founding father go Jefferson, Thomas
Thomas.
Jefferson.
Yeah.
Yes. But let me share what he said because it's so important that we share what I am going to bring that to the screen here in a minute. Will you be able to help me read that, Brenda? Can you see it on the screen?
Yes. Yes, I can see it. Okay. Thomas Jefferson quote: "We hold."
Go ahead,
Okay.
Brenda. Sorry. It's just,
We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their creator with certain um, unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Oh, that's deep. Yeah, very beautiful. And then this is from him again, quote: "There is no justification for taking away individuals' freedom in the guise of public safety, guides of public safety."
I just wanted to bring that in because like wow inga aupito ke daw is exactly what kind of kilave ko kaya ko Brenda. I
Yeah.
have Dr. Ray on the phone and I'm gonna bring him in soon here. But we need to go back to basic. We need to go back to our values. I think it should making the people hopefully for me, able to go back to basic, eh? I mean, get our
Yeah.
religion and our culture, but and our values, So,
Yes.
but these are some of the important quotes now for amu hepongpongini ke umai. Uh, okay, Dr. Ray, can you hear us? Can you hear us, Dr. Ray? Dr. Ray, can you hear us? Okay, still bad from Tonga. So, but you know,
Yeah.
okay, Dr. Ray, go ahead and talk because we can hear you.
Yes. We are reached 108 case and one recover.
Mm.
But I want to, if we go back to August when I was talking about the COVID, the virus need a host. This host any living cells. Like during the lockdown, I sat in my home, but the buaka is everywhere. Buaka in the street, chicken in the street too as well. Like I feel like the human get locked down, but the animals not. But we forgot that the buaka, the first SARS start in 2000, was started in the buaka as a swan flu, if anyone remember. So the animals, when we talk about COVID, it's a SARS-CoV-2. And then we have COVID alpha, beta, omega, delta. And then we have another shade called Omicron. Omicron, we have three phases in Omicron. One came from a person have HIV, gets sick of COVID, and then make Omicron. And then we have the second.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so we still have the issue of we're losing you, Dr. Ray. Uh, we still have the issue in Tonga with the call, so we're just gonna bring in a music here. Kita talang get Dr. Ray,
Yeah.
right?
But continue on with what you left off. Oh,
Yes, kako lave ko na ako ko ki success ko ni I state ko ko South Dakota. Eh?
yeah.
Heko inga heko me I wanna pay ko freedom and personal responsibility. Eh? Ay na
Mhm.
ko ani taki na okuna ni firma okay o na ani ala ki freedom ko akakai. At the same time give people a personal responsibility. And I wanted to bring in the first 10 minutes or in the State of the Union in Lea Gweni on the state. But I want only to bring the very first let's see here. I only want to bring the very first 10 minutes so we can hear this lady and how she was running her state. Eh? I
Okay.
think it's very important, you know.
Thank you. Thank you. Lieutenant Governor Roden, Mr. Speaker, members of the House and Senate, Chief Justice Jensen, Supreme Court justices, constitutional officers, and my fellow South Dakotans. I am honored to stand before you today as the governor of a state that is proudly leading the nation. We are leading with a talented workforce. We are leading with growing our businesses. We are leading with strong schools. We are leading with freedom, limited government, fiscal responsibility, and a commitment to defending the values that have made our country great. I am proud to report that the state of South Dakota is stronger than it has been in our 133 years. That did not happen because of what government did. That happened because of what government did not do. And it is because of our people. 2 years ago, we made a decision in the middle of a global threat. We chose not to compromise our values. We kept businesses, schools, and churches open. We did not decide who was essential and who wasn't, and we chose freedom and personal responsibility over mandates and lockdowns. We took steps to safeguard the public health, but we also trusted people, and we made decisions that were best for them and for their families. We did what was right, and we were attacked for that decision. Today, we are thriving because we upheld our principles. Our economy is strong. We have one of the lowest unemployment rates in the entire country. South Dakota saw new families and new businesses move here from other states. From July 2020 to July 2021, South Dakota's population grew 9 times faster than the national average, while places like California and New York and Washington, D.C. are losing population. And the reason why is no secret. People want to live somewhere that respects them, that respects their freedoms. They want to share in our quality of life that we have. And they're coming here because they want to be like us. Last year, we were ranked #1 state in the nation for helping our workforce and small businesses get through the pandemic. We've had record tourism numbers, and we've created opportunities for success for everyone. Now, no group is succeeding in higher numbers than women in South Dakota. During the pandemic, South Dakota was top 3 for the smallest negative impact on female workers. And we're also one of the top 10 best states for women to live and to work. And I am very proud that South Dakota is one of the top 5 states for providing career opportunities for working moms. Now, we are seeing inspirational testimonies from women like our very own State Senator Jessica Castleberry. Now, I am so grateful that she is allowing me to tell her story to all of you today. 15 years ago, Jessica suddenly found herself a single mother with 3 little kiddos with mouths to feed and only $3 in her checking account. She went to visit a credit counselor to get some advice on what she might do to improve her situation. Now, Jessica shared her dreams of getting a business degree, of becoming a business owner someday. And that woman responded to Jessica by saying that there was no magic wand that was going to make her dream come true. Well, that didn't sit very well with Jessica. She went and she bought herself a magic wand. And she kept it close to remind herself that she could make her dreams come true, regardless of whatever others thought was possible. Now, through hard work, Jessica Castleberry, she advanced her education and she launched her career. And this year, she celebrated the 11th anniversary of her business in Rapid City, which has 3 commercial locations. To this day, that magic wand sits in her office as a reminder of all that's possible. Now, Senator Castleberry, you got to clap for her. Go ahead, Mike. Senator Castleberry's story is in good company right here in this Capitol. In fact, all of these legislators have inspirational stories that have led them to where they are today. And that is what's so special about South Dakota. The representatives and the senators in the state legislature truly do reflect the people of South Dakota. They understand the challenges and the hardships and the loss. Today, you are going to hear more stories about the amazing people of our state who have faced and overcome adversity. And I believe that you will find inspiration in their stories, and it will give you hope and excitement for the days ahead. Now, the South Dakota people worked together to navigate the pandemic. Over and over again, we were recognized as one of the best states in the country because of our willingness to trust each other. Other states took different course. They locked down, they closed up businesses, they shut schools, they mandated masks. Their economies and their people are paying the price. They have suffered, and it didn't have to happen. Unfortunately, we're starting to see it happen all over again in some states. But here in South Dakota, we do have new challenges, new barriers to the American dream. We see inflation rising. Washington is threatening to raise taxes, and it piles on more debt and spending. It's getting harder for families to put food on the table, gas in the car, and keep their lights on in their homes. The world economy is changing too. We're seeing new technologies, emerging industries, and international competition. We must be ready. And on top of that, our children, our history, and our values are under attack. These threats are already here. We're seeing it in our schools and in our communities. It's happening in the news, on TV, on social media, and it is what is being taught to some of our children. It is up to us to defend our values and to prepare for the future. So today, I'm going to talk to you about the state of our great state, how we're succeeding, and the steps that we're taking together to preserve what we have and to grow even stronger. Now, we can make that happen by remaining true to the principles that made America so great in the first place and that made South Dakota the greatest state in the Union. Thomas Jefferson famously outlined our founding ideal of the Declaration of Independence, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, and among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Jefferson continued by reminding us why government is here in the first place, to secure those rights, not to grant them. Our rights come from God, not from the government, and government must remain limited to serve its proper role in securing those rights.
Oh, right on the head. That is beautiful, Lene. Can't hear you. No.
Sorry, I just muted myself. You know, one
Okay.
of the things she said, people will attract to us for our optimistic and hope. Huh?
Yeah.
You know, people will attract to us for that reason. And how we talk to people, tell your story. You know, ihe ta programa ko ni hono fa ke kweta wa ihe programa ko a Gabriel. I tell you that story that you share and how you talk about that to preserve our values and our history. We have to make sure the government is don't have the authority to take away the people's freedom. Eh? And I think
Yeah.
that's the message I have this morning. And I think her model, Tonga should be adopting that model on how to, because they started with the two cases, they locked down. Now it's up to over 100 and something. So for me, they need to re-strategize right away because the strategy of lockdown doesn't work. They need to change, because if you go with many days and you see your strategy is not working, this is an emergency situation. You have to change, because that's why I'm sharing how this lady running her state, because she do not want to overstep her authority. At the same time, she want to make sure that she hold the people in their own personal responsibility and trusted them. Maka meka na faam ko kita tala no ke hotani. Kau kimua kita hoko to Brenda. Mada for because and I need to give a message to Dr. Ray that we are going to try him when it's a better one because I cannot focus on this one without have to keep answering the phone. So let's see. I think I for even now prepare here Hotani, but let's take a look at it.
Auhia e kakara tui mei lolo kau Koe le mei kona isi o tu mafu Kai ni ka mea hai si te whakakau kau Me te kinga taha he koe manatu Magamatala Ha'auna ofa alama Foto koe huri no eilala Te ai kona Ie matahana Te lau e sino Ni koho o pele E moto au e losi Ho o e Alani te a hori o ele Ki fuga fonua koe toki kone Iwe holotona ke ushi urolo wao Kofe hau tatau Omi ke mawhenau Ako e matagiri Koe laulau Kua whai o fua E mitai kano
Okay, Brenda, we have Dr. Ray back from. Okay, go ahead, Dr. Ray. I can hear you better now.
Okay, let me explain Omicron.
Mhm.
That's when we back to our health show in December,
Right.
2nd of December. Actually, 9th of December when the first case starts being reported in South Africa. Omicron starts from O, and O it's omega and the Latin letters. It's number 15 because the shape of the virus it's from 15 protein. There is no similar protein between the between Omicron and the other COVID virus. The last update with me before the eruption, we have 36 different type of COVID. We have alpha, beta, omega, delta, and then we have Omicron. The first shade of Omicron start with person have HIV, get sick with POV, and then we have the second shade that's transferred from mice, like mouse, rat, to the human. Any virus have alpha and beta inside each virus. When alpha is so high, which alpha is being measured 500 times than the normal COVID virus, which is mean the spread of the virus is very high rate. On the other hand, when alpha is high rate, beta is very weak. That's why the symptoms of Omicron, it's very weak. It's like very strong common cold. You got it?
Got it, Dr. Ray. Keep on talking because we hear you.
And that's why the WHO said it's immune escape. So it doesn't matter if you get sick before of COVID or you are vaccinated, it's all immune escape because the protein is different. When we have the lockdown here, we are locked down as human, but the animals, the buaka, it's everywhere. Go from your house to the street, to the eat, and come back to your house. But the animals, it's host as well. When SARS started in 2002, start in the buaka, when we call swan flu, when it's go and spread. when we talk about the science name or the scientific name of COVID, it starts with SARS, SARS-CoV-2. And then when Omicron starts, the WHO make two division of COVID virus. One we called interest, virus of interest, which is VOI, and the other one is VOC. So we have called like SARS-CoV-2 VOC, which is virus of concern, or SARS-CoV-2 virus of interest, which is VOI. So that's the two one. It's not about the lockdown, but we need to look for our animals, even the chicken in the street too as well. And that's another host. Mouse, rat, any living cells can do a transmission. When we talk about Omicron, it's transmission from animal to human. And now we are locked down. You're locked down human, but we have animals everywhere. You guys in Tonga, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Every house have, like when you are before, every house have buaka. And the buaka go from there to there to there. You get the idea?
Yes, Dr.
Yes.
Ray.
So it's not about keep this. Yes, we need to keep distance. We need to wear gloves. We need to stay at home. But we have another host is free.
Roaming, yes.
Buaka, chicken, rats. Like for me, I put the mouse poison everywhere. I don't want any mouse to come to my house because Omicron start from mice to human. You get it?
Yes.
So when people see the number is growing, okay, don't be surprised. And even when we talk about Vini, I think, I'm not sure there is 14 family in Vini or 16 family in Vini, but there is Vini. Where is Vini? The dumping area, when they collect rubbish, it's there. And if you back to our show in August, when I talk about the dumping area is full of everything there. From mice to mosquitoes to whatever. And I think it's a good idea if the dumping area being sprayed every day. Because this is a good environment for mice, for rats.
I think, Dr. Ray, that's why they
what I'm
need you to
talking
be
about?
part of the strategy, to strategize what ways.
I tell you what, I tell you what, in Winnie and Brenda. My information, I want to protect myself first. Okay? Secondly, everyone have the truth and have the right in their mind. Okay?
Common sense,
Because
right.
the fact, is no fact 100%. You have the facts in your right, in your brain, your eye, in your mind, different than the facts I have. Even if you and I walk in the street and we see accidents, you will describe the accident in your view. I will describe the accident in my view. Okay, we have two stories, and no one knows the facts. I don't want to be any part of anything because I have enough arguments. Argument after argument after argument. At the end of the day, we need to be as a teamwork. Okay. For me, I will tell you the difference. The Minister of Health, the current Minister of Health, when he talked, I feel it is confidence, give information, put even love, make the community calm down. The previous one is just like I don't want to talk about it. Okay. On the other hand, I'm not saying that because of my license or even, but I'm telling you, I surprised. No one listened to the TV show for what
Now
I've been
to
saying,
explain.
and they've been accusing me without even watching or listen. They've been accusing me for stupid people put complaint. They forgot they put the complaint according to the election time. The end of the day, no one even read. My file has been more than 3 years. No one open and read my file because they are busy. They don't have time. So they accuse me for a lot of things without even concern. The end of the day, as I said, I had enough. Look, you know what we go through the eruption and all this time. That's it. I will not keep myself fighting for the rest of my life because it's not healthy. I'm just put like a spot for the people to think. If you keep locked down, but you make the animals free, it will be worse. If you don't look after the dumping area, it will be
Right.
worse.
Exactly.
For people, like here, they collect the rubbish every week. Okay? What happened during the week? You have rubbish in your house or outside your house for 1 week. Rats will eat. Come to the other house, to your house, or whatever. Waka eat. Everything's like even the chicken will jump to eat the rubbish. Then you eat from the chicken, you eat from the waka.
You know,
It's not about human.
I felt
It's
I
not
felt
about
like
human. We need to think about every cell
exactly.
because the virus needs cells to host inside. We
I'm
have rubbish there in your house for 1 week. I tell you what, when we study, cholera. Have you heard about cholera? On
yes,
the First World War. The cholera
yes.
stuff from the rubbish.
Ano call nila,
The
eh?
people
Yeah.
have rubbish in their house.
He
And
bring
the
out a
cholera
good
starts from
point.
there, from the rubbish.
Dr. Ray, I really like what you just brought to us here because I felt like the government rushed to take away the people's freedom, but they forgot to study the virus. So they need to know every aspect of this virus before they even make decision. And I think, like you said, they locked down the human being, but they forgot the puaka and the chicken and the mouses are roaming around, and they're also part of bringing taking the disease, so sharing, but at the same time they need to really have people take personal responsibility. And that is why Brenda is coming back to our show. Kimbe ko na talavi may kitaki ko na vifini ko ni ko vana ko South Dakota. So
Hmm.
when I listened to her, she said, I sat down on many of the health, what do you call that, general webinars, and these people were talking about, and I just studied that myself. I'll give it. Brenda, you want to say something before we give it back to Dr. Ray? Because
Yeah. But I want to point out something, Ray. Uh, if the government of Tonga tried to set some kind of values and then compromise it with the professionals in Tonga, so that the people that agree with their leadership roles and what they set forth as procedures would feel like they're being respected for the freedom they were given at birth. You know, you're born a Tongan, you learn how to comply, you grow to be an adult, you are well educated, but then you get pushed back for your rights. I think that they have to really observe the people's rights to think, to express, and to be exemplar, to be an example to their own people. This is what you call teamwork all the way around, and share your wisdom all the way around too. You know, with you, you're sitting in there, and if I were you, I'll keep talking, because you are the person you are. They can't change the values that spend years to study, to become wise enough to let people know what things should be, what are the things they should believe and do, because it's good for them, good for their health, for the environment. That's why you became a doctor. But there's always some kind of deception within the leaders of Tonga. Deception meaning they don't have faith in teaming up with people that have innovative ideas. It's just like if we discuss something fun and innovative from this end, they will say something different from Tonga. You understand?
We lose Dr. Ray, Brenda, but while I'm trying to get him back, let me play this video.
Okay.
President Biden is taking heat from GOP governors for touting a federal plan for COVID just one day after admitting there is no federal solution to fight it.
South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem is among them. She is demanding he rescind those federal mandates, and she joins us now to explain. Governor Noem, thank you so much for joining us. Happy almost New Year to you. I love that you're fighting against mandates, but it appears as you are fighting against mandates, Biden is pontificating new ones. Reporters managed to shout a question at him as he took his puppy to the beach there in Rehoboth, Delaware, at his vacation home, and asked him, are you up for a mandate for vaccines if you want to engage in domestic air travel? And he would not shut down that idea just yet. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's interesting to me that the president is so bold in saying that there is no federal solution, yet continuing to impose mandates on the country. And the fact is that he doesn't have the authority to put these mandates in place. That's why South Dakota and many other states and governors and attorney generals have challenged the federal government on this authority in court. That will be heard here in January, and we'll win. We'll win because this president has taken unprecedented action to impose on the liberties and freedoms of the American people. And sometimes the only ones that are left to fight are the governors.
Governor Noem, what would you ask of the federal government at this point? What help does South Dakota need? What help do the states need in fighting this pandemic?
The thing that they're doing the most is imposing restrictions and requirements on us. They need to back off. We really need to be able to take care of our people. We've shown that we do it the best. They've given us resources, which is their role at different times to meet this pandemic head on. But then let us be flexible. Let us do what South Dakota did. Use personal responsibility to trust our people to make the best decisions for themselves and their families. That's why South Dakota's got the #1 economy in the country. We're getting through this together. We've got historic revenues and businesses and people relocating to our state. And it's because people respect the freedom that they can get here for their children and their grandchildren and know that it will be protected.
Yeah, it's so true. And I think that's why the folks of South Dakota love you, Governor, there. And I had the opportunity to visit with some of those folks. Your new grandmother, your mom, we know the impact of this pandemic on the kids, but it seemed like we're prepared to shut down schools again. Can you talk about the impact, mental health, and just being, frankly, behind the rest of the world?
We are, but not in South Dakota, Lawrence, because our kids were in their classrooms. You came to South Dakota months ago, and our kids were in school then. They've been in school the entire time, and they're learning. And they've got the largest gains in growth in their education of any other children in this country because they were interacting with their teachers. They were in the same social settings that they've always been in. They didn't struggle like the other kids did with isolation and being alone, like so many during this pandemic. Lawrence, earlier you said something that said you wondered if we'd ever get our civil liberties back in this country. And that's one thing that I have warned about now since way back in March of 2020, is that when you have a leader overstep their authority, especially in a time of crisis, that's when you break this country. And we saw so many leaders do that over the last year and a half. And we've seen that those civil liberties have been continued to be degraded and lost by so many people, and why it's so important that they have a beacon of hope. And I think in South Dakota, what we've done and the decisions that we've done and taken and actions that we've taken here has shown people that when you do protect those freedoms and those liberties, that it really does create more opportunities and a better future for the people that live under that kind of an environment.
Governor, I have a 2-year-old, and it struck me the other day that all she's ever known is COVID, is masks and these onerous restrictions. And, it made me as a mother really averse to when you look over at New York City and you have 5-year-olds that won't be allowed to eat in restaurants if they're not vaccinated. It's simply amazing. What do you think as a freedom-loving governor when you look over at a place like New York City and you see 5-year-olds forced to eat out in the cold if they're not vaccinated?
Yeah, I think it should be a choice of families, of parents and grandparents. I've got a little granddaughter named Miss Addie or Adeline, but I look at her face. It seems like for hours, and I'm amazed at how she watches me. The actions that I take, she mimics, she learns from. She's starting to try to recreate some of the facial expressions that all of us in this family do with her when we're spending time together. Our children are missing out on that. They're missing the opportunity to learn and to see faces and build relationships from each other because of what they're doing in this isolated state and having masks over their faces. So if families are in a situation where they need to do something like that to protect health, and that makes them really reassured that they're taking the right action and step, then certainly do that. But I don't think it should be mandated by the government. And when you give the government that kind of authority to tell you you have to act in that way, then it's the precedent that they're setting in other areas of your life is really incredible.
Yeah. So and to both you and Lawrence's point, it'll be hard to reclaim that personal liberty, but we have to try. Governor Kristi Noem, great to talk to you this morning.
Thanks,
you.
Governor.
Thank you.
Thank you, Governor.
Happy New Year.
Brenda, we lost Dr. Ray. We're back to this governor. She's only 49, and she's a woman with a guts. I tell you, when I heard his personal story, incident in her ranch, she took on the business at age 22, and but after that, text now they got taxed, and then she was angry. Dr. Ray, go ahead. With all this government intrusion, that's how she started. That's how she started. Dr. Ray, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah. Sorry, the internet is very bad. But anyhow, we need to think about the other living cells host. It's not about human. We have waka, we have chicken, we have dogs, we have rats, even birds. Because this type of virus, it's transmission from animal to human. And from human.
Okay, so we're going to have Dr. Ray come back later tonight because we keep losing him. Brenda, go ahead. I give it back to you, Brenda, to continue.
I feel like the chicken heard us. I feel like the chicken heard us because it's growing.
I think so too, eh?
Yeah, oku whaka ofa aupito ia nga e tausio ki he koe mea pia u drive e kakai ke nau si I ongoi oku nau fear, pe oku nau really fear. He kono uhinga manatu I koe mhaki whaka auha ko e ni na e hok na e tō ia I tonga he tahiwa tahawalu. According to Io, koe black, koe plague, he? kaya fuga na ilo na topic ko high virus ko. Yeah, no, they have no idea. Ko pepe pa mahak fuga awa. Now si ta ko to pe tari peke tari ho na ui. So I lost 2 uncles and 2 sisters of my dad. 2 sisters and 2 brothers. Mahak for awa ko ya. And it's a sad story that grandmother would talk about, that they say goodbye to each other with a smile. They can't move. They can't do anything. And, you know.
Morphe thing, Brenda. And they don't know how to treat it. Now, mana tu eku fae fatalanoa he alo in the fae, because they have a loma. Alo kai hoko mai peha mate feitu ale de fae alo. Ave mea ke tano ake mate ko. Yeah, I remember my mother talk about that.
Yeah, and it's sad because it's a story that doesn't go away from you. You know? But to me, compare COVID, Tonga should not worry. Uruaki okuma Tonga i ea pea moe vai.
Yes, because of matata he kumofia tahi.
Yes. Pakake lau peki he tahi. Kaku uha every now and then.
Right.
Pag toe fresh hold aupito new.
Kai pa ko whanau ke lau ka Dr. Ray, now hanga na tolo lock down the human, but let the animals going around. They should have make sure the human are taking care of the animal first. Ke nga ke whanau fua ka whai man ka na kai ke whanau ko ki ai ki sa ai. E nau pehe ka koe, e nau hanga look, o kai ke ngofua ke te alu kita ki uta toko taha o huo. That is a very sad thing for me. Kapa o fe ale tata ki uta o huo ene ki ngoe. I think I've done gefang for big out to no for uta. I mean kage go mentally depressed and enough for happy. I think of fema to me of the time again I really study I young I furi he coined I virus o he ka lau ka Dr. Ray pela wale ke now ilo ko ha what approach they are going to go about
Mon aupito ia. He kono uhinga o tonu ke iai ha process ia e kautaha ai Department of Health. Mo ui lelei. Ke ne hanga pe e ia o whakatu uha ane team ke nau lava o pe te nau ngawe ake media o whakatau ha nau houa. O tala i tutuuni o tonu ke whanong ke kakai. You know.
I tell you, I've been studying his speeches this morning. A lot of these leaders took the emotions and the fear of the people and make decision out of that. But that's not how they should make decisions. I am going to my letter for fast. Going a get tau ataki whawhia maari, tau peki fisi,
tau peki fisi.
Because Dr. Ray is back, we're gonna have to cut. Dr. Ray Go ahead, Dr. Ray.
I want to talk about the money. You know, we have to know how long the virus can survive in paper or a coin. Okay, in paper, the virus can survive in paper for 18 hours before they found the host. In metal, the virus can survive for 12 hours in metal before they found the host. So even when I go to the shop to get the change back, Okay, there is a chance there is a virus there in the money. You got it?
Of
Got it.
course, the money exchange, the paper money and coins.
Ayo. Perfect. Now there is one thing I like it. Now when you go to the shop is closed. You give the people inside the shop and they bring the order for you. Not like before, everyone go and touch whatever he wants and then he left. But now I like this. I like this system. You go to the shop, you keep distance, but again there is money there. One more thing. What is the benefit if you wear mask, gloves, and there is no slippers in your foot? You know, when you sneeze, when anyone sneeze, the speed of the sneeze, it's 160 mile per hour. Like that's 96 kilometers per hour. So if someone sneezes and you walk without slippers, you are the host now.
Okay.
You got it?
Got it, Dr. Ray.
So it's not about, because I saw a lot of people wearing masks, gloves, and they walk without slippers. They forgot. There's maybe someone spit there, someone sneeze, maybe a dog or buaka or chicken. They carrying the virus and he just walk.
So that's
Number
so
3,
important.
the last, and another point I want to talk about, the buaka. When you kill the buaka to eat, when your hand like mix with the blood, how did you know if this buaka just get the virus before you kill it? Your hand will be a host straight away because no one check. There's a lot of things we need to be concerned.
Yes, Dr.
It's not
Ray.
about keep distance,
Yes.
rest in home, but everyone have buaka. When you eat the buaka, it's a buaka from your home. Okay, maybe they carrying because the virus on the air.
Is it
But on
airborne
air,
already?
They can survive. They can survive till they what?
I'm saying you're saying it's airborne already? It can be transmitted through the air? Because I seen some I heard some doctors over here it's not airborne yet.
Look, I tell you what is airborne. The virus can survive on air till they found the host. The virus can survive on air for 24 hours till they found any living host, any living cells. It doesn't matter. This disease is we call jumping. The virus is jumping. What is mean jumping? Jumping between human to animals and from animals to human. And that's why we have a lot of mutation. We have a lot of mutation. Like we are lucky that Omicron come from the mice because the mice respiratory system in the mice is weaker than we have. That's why when someone gets Omicron, it's just like a strong common cold. Okay? It's not like a deadly one. Because again, alpha is so high and beta is so down because alpha is high. So the deadly symptoms in the virus is so weak because alpha is so high, the spread of the virus. Okay? But we need to understand what is the virus. Yes, we lock
I
down,
agree
but
with
a
that.
lot of things need to be locked down as well. You know, everyone have dogs, but dogs is free too. There is no one keep the dogs in his house or in his yard. The dogs from this house to this house to the street, they are free.
Right.
As the buaka, as the chicken. And here we are, when you come to eat the buaka. How did you know if the buaka didn't have Omicron or not?
Right.
And then when you kill the buaka, the blood on the ground, dogs come and lick it. Or the dust became like dry. And then the air, wind, whatever, make it blow. So we need to understand what we are dealing with.
Yes.
When people go to the shopping and they have money, and then they put the money in their wallet. What happened?
I think there should be an education. They need to be educating the public more than to know what to do. So Our time is
Look,
up,
it's
Dr.
all
Ray,
about.
but give us a final
Okay.
word because our time is up.
I want the final word. We need to look down all the cells, all the living cells, boaka, dogs, chicken, and the dumping area need to be sprayed maybe twice a day or once a day. So that will eliminate the virus as we been locked down in our home. This is my final word. We need to understand what is the virus and how the virus can be transmitted and how the virus can be spread from person to person or from person to animal or from animal to person. We need to be careful.
I agree with that. That is so true, you know. Brenda, I have a word for Dr. Ray because I know you were trying, but he got cut off. Brenda, unmute yourself.
I want to thank Dr. Ray, but I also want to propose to you to make you just do some kind of training and something you can say to the people to be alerted in awareness, so they know the difference between the carrier and the host that like all those hosts that these animals want to have.
I explained during the health show everything about COVID.
Yes.
When
Right.
I'm law, because they never listen to what I'm saying. But because what I said is true, the truth go for long. I want to encourage everyone to go and listen to the health show when I explain about the virus,
I agree with that.
about the COVID, about Omicron.
Yeah.
And if I can't jump on.
Oh.
I guess we lose him again, but that is so true. I think point ka na na my nga Brenda. If we study, for me, I know the people are going to hear us over here, but I want the government later can now study in the disease. Now study ang I virus ko ni. Pero if I level in our decision making may na.
Oh, yeah.
Eko now focus yan ke lock down the people with their freedom, but they forgot hangay ko nilaw ay puaka mo kuli hangay ko fatapu pa mo moa. People need to be out and about and take care of their personal stuff. Okay, if people don't take care of their personal stuff, we can't have a healthy country. I mean, it comes back to mindset, Brenda. Okay, ka nalaw, masengo tuya, tuya mo gloves ya, kalaiva ay peva ya. Where is the disease gonna go through? It's gonna go through your feet. You know what I'm saying? Because or study. I know a lot of them are scholars. Brenda. These people are scholars. These people are specialists on their own thing, but they need to come and sit down and listen. Kihangi ko Dr. Ray, can hang out or tuwang my a different characteristic or mahagi. O pamela na ko wana ko o South Dakota, what she did. Kadai ko health official ko other state. She sat down on those and she said something very important, Ketia. I do not want to make a decision based on relaying information to me. I want to study the information myself. Eh?
Yeah. Yeah. I
That
agree.
is so
Yeah.
important. So give it back to you, Brenda,
Yeah. Pe algo more simple aupito pe mahinong ofua ai me ako hanga tonu. Pe mo effective ke mo ui e kakai. O te now drag ko fahinga agenda, personal agenda. Because now group agenda. It's for it's for the good and the benefit for all people.
Yes, that's why I love it last night at the show Koimo Gabriel. And speaking of him, he's going to join us tonight on our show. I invited him to come and join us tonight.
Nice.
I think either we're going to continue the discussion last night of where the collapse of the civilization. I mean, from a disaster, but at the same time I need to look into closely the pandemic. because I think that is more damaging to humankind than anything else.
Yeah.
A lot of the leaders are using that to control instead of leading with common sense and giving people the freedom. That's my final word, Brenda. Give it back to you, Fata Famalo, final rate. Kauhanga o mai at hiva tukue.
Oh, yeah. Whamano atu ki a te motoko to ape mo mea mai ki porokalama koe ni. Neongo oko ma breaking news almost every day, 2 times a day. Ka oko e hoa taha I he hoa taha I he hiwai whiawhi. It's so important ke lava ke tau dialogue he ngahi issue whamo ui lelei koe ni o si to whangai a Tonga I he ngahi ahoni. Pea o I kai pe koe ngahi psychological issues o e site koe ni he irifia pea mo e hohaa pea mo si I whakaukau ki he uesia atamai e he ngahi paraparema koe ni. Ka agu simple pe ko e ngai wia e tau tui o a whio e kipa ku ni toko ni ki tau toro. Ko iai e ahoni o atu ai pe whakaafika te mōtoro ke mō kau mai ki he donations relief kon ki Tonga. Pea koe address enu o atu I lalo pe I he la. Pea ko iai o mau ofalahi at ka te mōtoro. Tau toki I whisiawhaki e hiwa po uri ai whiawhi Malo. Kairi fia ta fisia. Pegala vai tau por klama ngai ho tani ko Emeline fa au mun. Neu dei mo mea to fatu.